Hey everybody, it's me, that is AA Gamer. Welcome back to another deck profile, highly anticipated Kashtira Adventure. I am very excited to show this deck profile. I want to give one shout out to the Kashtira fan group for helping me out with ratios and a lot of other stuff. I really appreciate it, and I can't wait to show you this deck profile. I think this is perfect in my opinion, and I hope you like it. So I hope you like, subscribe, and share for more content. Here we go. So today we're going to show up the Kashtira monsters first. So we have 3 monsters, so we're going to play 3 ups. We have Fenrir, Unicorn, and Ogre. So Fenrir is your monster searcher, your Unicorn is your spell searcher, and Ogre is your trap searcher. And before I say anything else, they can be special summoned while you control no monsters on the field. And during the main phases, that's when they can activate their effects to search those certain cards. And also, whenever this card declares attack, or when a monster activates, they have another effect to break them down, break boards, slow them down, stuff like that. So Fenrir can target one face-up card and face-down banish. Unicorn can look at your opponent's extra deck and face-down banish. And Ogre can activate 5, and you select that one card and put the rest in any order, I think, and face down banish, which is really cool, and I really like it. Next, we have 2 Kashtira Rebirth, or Birth, I keep calling Rebirth, my bad, and 2 Kashtira Pre-Preparation. So this is your Ogre search, and this is your Unicorn search. Rebirth is really broken. I don't know why it's been made to this day. So you can normal summon level 7 without tributing, which is actually pretty good. And during the main phase, you can special summon one non-Xyz Kashtira monster that is banished or in the graveyard. So it's pretty much like a monster reborn for your banish and your grave. And also, whenever your opponent activates a spell or effect, you can target 3 cards in your opponent's graveyard and face down banish, which is really cool because we're at today's meta, like cards do need to hit the graveyard, and pretty much this one will, cancel it out and just target 3 cards or monsters, spells, traps, or anything, and face down banish them. The trap card, during each player's turns, you can special summon 1 Kashtira monster from your hand or banish. So the only difference is that you can't reborn from the graveyard, but it's during either player's turn, while this one has to be during your turn. And whenever your opponent activates a trap or effect, you can look at your opponent's hand and ban it and select that card and face down banish, which actually just cycles your opponent's hand, which is really cool. And also they're all hard ones for turn. I'm just letting y'all know. Next we have the Brave package. So we have 3 Water Enchantress, 1 Legal Knight, 2 Wandering Griffins, 2 Right, 1 Faithful, and 1 Dracoback. So the reason I'm playing 2 Right, because Right gives you a token fairy, normal, 2000 attack, 2000 defense, level 4, and also it will stop you from no longer doing normal summon effects, which this deck really doesn't do, except for Rebirth, I guess, but you can do other stuff, and yeah, it's so cool. Faithful Adventure is a really cool spell card. It's whenever, there's like 3 different effects. If it's equipped to the Faithful Adventure, which is right here, you can, it doesn't get destroyed on the first time, but the next time it will get destroyed. When you summon a monster, you can search a equipped spell card, which is your Dracoback, or you can add a adventure monster, or a monster mentions adventure, and discard 1 card. Dracoback can bounce a card, or if it gets discarded, you can just put it back and equip it to the appropriate monster, which would be adventure token or non-effect monsters. Legal Knight is just interrupts people's boards because you can bounce 2 cards by giving this card to him. And Wandering Griffins are Omni-Negates, which is pretty cool. And also they're level 7, which is pretty neat. And what's cool about Water Interest, the reason I'm playing 2 Rights, because Water Interest can search your Right from the graveyard or deck. So pretty much if you have 2 of these in the graveyard and you drew into this, you can use her effect to get 1 of these back from the graveyard, which is pretty cool. And it's not target too, so you can psych your opponents out pretty easily. Next, we have 3 more level 7 monsters, which is 2 Ascension of Thunders and Prankertops. Prankertops is just like, it can be special summon if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, and also it can pop 1 card by tributing himself. So pretty much if your opponent activates a card monster effect, you can pretty much use this effect to pop that, which is pretty cool. And 2600 is pretty strong for a monster. And Ascension of Thunders, I don't really use much of them. It's just to pay 3,000 life points to special summon a level 7 monster, and if for some reason your opponent sends that card to the graveyard by any means, you can gain 5,000, which is like, it's pretty cool. You should say so. Pretty much you gain like 2,000 more than usual. Next you get next I have 3 Astral Karibos. So this thing, the special summon this thing, you gotta reveal a number monster, and you special summon it, and you're locked into numbers letting you know. It becomes that level. So if you reveal a level 7, it would just special summon as a level 7. And also, while it's equipped to Xyz, so while it's while it's Xyz unit over unit, it cannot be destroyed by battle or your opponent's card effect. So it has that extra protection, which is really neat. I played triple hand Ash Blossoms, which is like one of the best hand traps. I've been debating if I want to play Ash Blossom or Dimension Shifters, but I don't know yet. Just let me know in the comments, should I just do Ash or that. Next we have the spells, which is 2 Prosperities, 2 Tactics, 1 Call By, 1 Instant, and 1 Change of Heart. Yeah, it's crazy. Change of Heart is just target one of your opponent's monsters and take control of it, which is cool. Instant Contact is my so I can target my level 7 monsters. So I can just do all my shenanigans before I can activate this spell card, because it doesn't lock you into anything. It's just a once per turn. You can only activate it once per turn, which is actually kind of crazy. I'm kind of shocked it doesn't lock you into like warrior fusions and stuff like that. Call by Grave is to interrupt your opponent's graveyard. Tactics, we're at the current area where people are just using hand traps like a lot, like bestials with the Brandon with their bestial stuff. And yeah, I can draw, and during the main phase I can activate this to draw 2, look at my opponent's hand, put 1 back in their deck, or just taking control. So it's another Change of Heart. Pretty much I have like 3 Change of Hearts, and Prosperities is to thin out my deck more, because depends on the battle the deck I'm facing. I could just banish 3 or 6 cards I don't really need, and search and activate the 6th and get that 1 card I need, which is pretty cool, and it works out really well. And also, just letting y'all know, when you activate Prosperity, you cannot draw anymore, but you can still add cards, which is pretty cool. Next is Triple Imperms, which is like the best hand trap, I think, in my opinion, because A is a trap card. Even though it does target, and if your opponent can activate something to push it away, tribute it, I guess that's the only thing. But I think, in my opinion, it's still the best trap card. Plus, your opponent can't use Tactics on you, because Tactics has to be a monster effect, while this is just a trap card. Next is the extra deck. We have Aqua Neos and Air Neos. So the reason I'm playing 2 different Neos cards is because, even though I only play 1 Instant Contact, but the thing is, I use my Prosperity to target 1 of them, and and 2 others or 5 others to activate. I've been debating is maybe taking 1 out and put in the Sword Supreme's Chingling. But as right now, I'm going to try this out. It's been working out very well for me, in my opinion, but hey, anything can happen. Next is my number place, since I play Astro Karibo. So I play number 76, Hummerize, number 28, Titanic Moth, and number 89, Diablos, that Mind Hacker. So Diablos is pretty much going to be the best card when Photon comes out, because this thing, oh my god. So you get to look at your opponent's extra deck and banish 1 card from their extra deck face down, which benefits the Kashtira stuff. And also his other effect, his normal effect, because that effect is just a detached. This normal effect is whenever a card gets banished, you banish the number difference of your opponent pretty much your opponent gets banished cards the number they have in their banished zone. So pretty much would say they have 2. That means your opponent has to banish 2 cards from the top of their deck, which is really cool. Titanic Moth is nothing to see. It's just my burner card. So if we're late in the round, I can just summon this and burn my opponent for 2,500 because it burns 500 per card you have in your hand. Hamura is super cool because this card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effect with the same monster attribute. And quick effect, it can detach and target one of your opponent's monsters and attach it to it. So pretty much if you're playing against Tears, you can have water and dark, and it cannot be destroyed by card effects and or battle by water and dark, which is pretty cool. I'm just making one quick example of it, or branded. Next we have 2 Kashtira's Sangadara, which is this is actually really strong. So during each standby phase, you can special summon 1 Kashtira monster from your deck. This is once per turn, by the way. And whenever a card gets face down banished, you can target one of the unused zone and block it. So it's like a Jama King style, or zone crusher, stuff like that, and just block out zones. And you can block as much as you can because it's not even once per turn, which is pretty cool. And also, it does have a protection effect, so if it would get destroyed by battle or card effect, you can detach 1 to keep it alive, which is cool. And also, if it gets like dark, also the keep the cards block on the zones is while this card's on the field. So pretty much if you hit this thing with a dark one or more, the zones will still be blocked if I'm 100% right, because it has to be while it's on the field. And yeah, it's kind of broken, but I could be wrong. So don't flame me. Next is my non-number cards. So I have Red Eyes, Flare Metal, Dragon, Draco Sack, and Zeus. So Zeus I barely use, but if I need to get rid of their big board, I have no afraid of it using it. Draco Sack is to give you your 2 tokens, and oh my god, it's kind of broken with these 2 tokens because I do have a little link package. And Red Eyes Flare is just it's like the Masquerade Blazing Dragon just burns your opponent every time when they activate a card effect, or whenever they activate a card, which is kind of crazy. And also, while Draco Pack is on the field, you contribute a Draco Pack token or a beast monster and target 1 card, destroy it. But you probably don't use that because I don't usually keep the tokens. I just use them all for links. Next, we have our links, which is IP Masquerena, Nightmare Unicorn, and Royal Sea Dragon. So funny thing about this one, 2 non-link monsters, you can use those two tokens from Draco Sack and special summon this, which is kind of broken, and you can get ready for your Unicorn if you have a card in your hand. So Royal Sea Dragon. Okay. So Unicorn bounces a card. IP quick effect, you can just link off right away during your opponent's main phase. If it uses a link material, it can't be destroyed by your opponent's card effect, which is cool. So Royal Sea Dragon, oh my gosh. I read this card first, and I was like, I don't know about it, but until I reread it again, I was like, wait a minute, this card's busted. So when you summon this, you can banish all monsters on this field, then special summon as many monsters as possible that are banished by this effect to their owner's fields, face up or face down defense position. And during the battle phase, you can destroy up the number of cards with its code linked to it. So pretty much if you have let's say if you have a nice field, you can special summon this thing and use its effect to, banish all and put them back on the field. And put them in maybe in the middle column and put, 2 of your Kashtira monsters or 2 of your monsters. You can destroy up to 2 cards and keep your stuff face up while keep your opponent's face down, which is actually kind of insane. And I kind of like it a lot. Because originally I didn't, but until I kept reading it and having ideas about it, and I was like, oh my god, this is good. Next, I have 1 copy of Baron de Fleur. It's a level 10, so I can use an Ash Blossom with a level 7 Kashtira monster and secret summon to this. It has armor negate. During standby, I can just bounce it and special summon the monster from the graveyard, which is pretty cool. And also, once per turn, you can destroy 1 card on the field. Next is my side deck. This is my personal side deck, so again, it's up to y'all if you want to copy it or not, but again, I think it's good. Next, we have Bestial Mag and BCO Druid Worm. So, Mag. Uh, so what they do is that they're like the walking legs, stronger DD Crows. So, what he does, like when he's special summoned, his effect is to add 1 dragon monster to the deck to your hand. But the adding does not apply until the end of the turn. So remember that. You can use this effect when he's special summoned, let's say the main phase. Just remember during the end phase to special summon, to add with Druid Worm, because you'll 100%. Because I can forget at times, and I gotta remember, like, hey, I gotta add a card, because if you forget about it, it's tough luck, because you should have remembered. Druid Worm is awesome because when it's sent to the graveyard by any means, you can target one of your special summon opponent's monsters and send it to the graveyard, which is pretty cool. And also, the way to special summon these is targeting 1 light and 1 dark monster in the graveyard, and either play this graveyard and banish it. And also, you can special summon, and it is a quick effect if your opponent has a monster on the field, which is cool. So it's like a normal ignition effect if my opponent has no monsters, but it's a quick effect when they do. And also, it does target, just letting you know, so your opponents can interact. Hopefully, they can save it or not save it. Next, I call this like the destruction zone. So I have Harpy's Feather Duster, triple Light Geckis, triple Lightning Storm. And triple Lightning Storms. This is if I'm playing something like I hate so much and I just want to play this ultimate destruction, here you go. Here's my 7 cards of destruction. This Right Geckis destroys monsters, Harpy's Feather Duster destroys special traps, and Lightning Storm destroys monsters or special traps once per turn. So yeah. I just make my side decks like back row hate pretty much, or front row hate. Next, I play triple copies of Evenly matches. Pretty much if they have a big problematic board, I can just go battle phase and just make my opponent face down, banish all the cards but 1, because you can activate this during the hand if you don't have no cards in the field. And technically you activate this, and technically you have 1 card on the field, so you gotta evenly it out, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, share, comment. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.